Review of my Salomon XA Forces Jungle Boot. So this is the box it came inside, and this is the information on the box. XA Forces Jungle Boot. The sizing information. This is a UK 10.5, which is a EU or a Japan 29. It's a US 11. The color is earth brown. So Salomon, as many of you would be already aware, is famous for making hiking footwear and decent quality ones. So this is how the boots are. So this is how the boots are. They came with one single tag. Okay, front profile. Side profile. Rear. Again side, and front again. So these boots are 8 inches tall and they're jungle boots. So we'll come to that. So jungle boots, as many of you would already be aware, are boots that sacrifice waterproofing for vents. So these are the vents. So they are designed, jungle boots are designed such that when you're in the jungle, it's supposed to be a humid environment where there will be water also around. So water is allowed to seep into the boot and then also out of the boot from the vents. Now it is debatable whether you want your feet to be wet or you want to keep them dry. But in jungles it is said that invariably you will not be able to keep your feet dry. So if you end up with a Gore-Tex boot or any other boot which is waterproof, water will end up going inside from the top of the boot, and then once it is wet, it will not dry fast and will make life further difficult for your feet in that environment. And hence, if you have a boot which allows water to come inside and then also drain it out, life might be easier, but then that's one way of looking at it. I have been looking for this boot for quite some time. I really like the design of it, and as I can see, these are really comfort oriented. Plus these are boots from Salomon. Salomon, as most of you are already aware, already makes hiking footwear. So this is actually a hiking shoe or a boot which is being designed for the military, and that is why it's called XA Forces. These are slightly difficult to come by because Salomon does sell quite a few of these in the hiking design, but it is only made, or it is probably, I'm hoping or understand that it is only made on specific orders in this design for the military. So not many vendors who are selling this. The model will come off and on into the market, and then once it is sold out, then it will only be made again if a vendor desires or asks Salomon to make it. From initial inspection, I can see that the quality of the boot or the quality of workmanship is top notch. It has a very good sole. It has got the Salomon sole on it, and it's got a very good design also. No loose threads, good materials used. Coming on to the sole is spread out. The lug pattern is quite spread out with these flat surfaces at the bottom, or the lugs are completely flat at the bottom to give you a decent amount of grip in the urban environment also. However, these boots are not meant for the urban environment. They'll be best used outdoors. The rubber outsole is quite thick. The lugs are at least 3 to 4 mm thick, 3 mm thick up front, and more than that, between 4 to 5 mm thick in the heel area. Additionally, I can see that there is this plastic fiber material and it says 3D chassis. So as you would already be aware, Salomon does come out with the Quest 4D version also of the XA Forces and of a very famous hiking boot of their lineup. And so this is a 3D chassis on the boot. It's got a rubber outsole and an EVA midsole. So this is the EVA midsole, which is supported with this synthetic fiber in the sole, probably to give it torsion resistance. Yes, so it doesn't bend much in this plane. However, it does have some amount of bending, and I think that is okay. I personally do not like boots which are very stiff. Also, it has this fiber material in the midsole also, and then here in the heel part also, this is also plastic to give shape to the heel, and here this is also hard plastic here. It says 3D chassis again. Then this material in between is all EVA, and here within the plastic also, between the plastic and the outsole, the plastic and the outsole is a very soft EVA compound. So it's got two kinds of EVA. It's got this soft compound here and then a slightly more dense compound of EVA here. And I'm sure on the inside also it will have an insole. Yes, so it's got an EVA insole on the inside also, like all other standard Salomon boots. So this is going to be very comfortable right out of the box. I've got no doubts on that, having used Salomon boots earlier also. Only small con which I can see is that the sole is not sitting flat on this flat surface. So I hope that will get corrected once I wear these boots in. Otherwise it might lead to a certain amount of knee pain, which I do not like. So I'm very impressed with the quality of the sole and all the design elements in the sole. I'm very sure this is going to be very comfortable. And also the sole has this curve in it to aid in walking pattern. So it isn't very flexible. It is slightly flexible, but it isn't very flexible. It is not bending very easily. And to compensate probably for this stiffness only, they've given this curved design in the toe area. Coming up to the upper, the outsole comes up to the mid toe till this part and has got this serrated design for further gripping, so that when you're taking a knee, the upper of the boot doesn't come in touch with the ground. Also up front it has this rubber toe. So although it's a rubber toe, it is very soft on the sides, and in the center it is slightly hard. So it's a soft rubber toe which it has up front, and then the material behind, this is also rubber. This is also rubber. The rest of it is leather. It does feel like original leather. However, I can't be very sure if this is synthetic leather or original leather. It is quite possible that this may be synthetic leather also, because it comes from hiking boots. And then the material on the inside is pure synthetic. It's like a synthetic tarp. It's not very thick synthetic here, but then obviously this will allow for more flexion and lightweight. The material here is also synthetic. So as I can see, the cage for your feet is all this leather material, and also the laces are attached to the cage. So actually your feet is going to be encapsulated or held by this cage, which is all leather, and then the remaining areas are all synthetic to reduce weight. This is also synthetic in between. This probably is okay to be synthetic because this is where the flexion will happen when the boot is broken in. So that is okay. And so the laces are also attached to the cage to keep your feet firmly in place. If you've seen this particular design in hiking boots from Salomon, you'll be able to recognize this design quite easily. I think they're quite famous also. On the upper, it also has leather in this area, which is not joined to the rest of the boot, or it is not joined to the rest of the leather cage here. This probably is for the ankles, but I think it sits slightly above the ankles. So even though this might be designed for giving safety to the ankles, but I'm sure the ankles will come somewhere in this area, and this is slightly high up on that. And this has also got perforation mesh, and this has also got perforation here to allow for breathability, as these are jungle boots. The height is slightly higher than 8 inches. It's got the synthetic lace, good quality, nothing wrong here. But normally I find with Salomon laces that because they are good quality synthetic, they are quite slippery also. So they do take some time to wear in before they remain tight, otherwise they end up opening slowly. It has got certain information inside, it has got sizing information on the inside, and it does say it is made in Cambodia. And I am generally getting the feeling that boots that are made in Cambodia are also good quality boots. The tongue is gusseted to the top, it comes till this height, and there is a net pattern on the inside where the tongue is attached to the boot, and this is also stretchable. So a lot of good design features here, designed for comfort. Obviously they are not going for waterproofing, so this material is all mesh to allow for easy breathability also. The boot has very minimal amount of branding on it. It says Salomon here, but that is just embossing. It's not in your face. Also, on the top of the boot, it's got one Salomon branding, a simple S and nothing more, so which is always good. The soft shaft of the boot is going to give it a lot of flexibility in terms of movement. When you wear this boot, the boot will keep your feet in place here and give you a lot of comfort, but your ankles will be free to move. Unlike other boots where the shaft is slightly tight, and it does take some amount of breaking in before your ankles are able to move freely in those. So here there is going to be a lot of flexibility in the ankles, but on the flip side there is not going to be that much of support also. Again, coming to the laces are all synthetic loops here, and above it is all speed lacing. On top it is all speed lacing. So good design there. I like this boot. Thank you.